It's a very good time for actors today, and not just actors, but just in general. I think a lot of women
Yeah.
are getting work in different departments, and there is noise about it. There's
Hmm.
more awareness about it, and I hope it keeps spreading. To because there are lots of women in this country who aren't um, yet, getting their due at all,
True.
at all. So it's changing, and it's incredible, and we need to
Yeah.
celebrate the change as well. But there's a long way to go.
Long way to go.
I'm Radhika Apte and this is Anushree Mehta and you are watching us on PeepingMoon.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahni, and today joining me for a super interesting conversation are Anushree Mehta and Radhika Apte, who are all set to impress us all with Mrs Undercover. Hi you guys, how have you been?
Very good. How are you?
I am good. In fact, when I was watching the trailer, I was like, this is so interesting and something that or maybe we have not seen in a very long time. I know we have a lot of undercover agent shows and films coming in, but this is something different. I'm sure you guys agree to that. But starting with you, Anushree, how did this idea sort of crop in? Because now that I look at Radhika playing the part, I think it's very apt.
It
Yeah.
is, and so the idea came to me back in 2017.
Okay.
I was thinking of turning director.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am. I started off as a writer turned producer, and then I wanted to direct a film. But I wanted to make something that makes a difference, that
Okay.
stands out, that has a bigger message to give, and above all, is a family entertainer.
Correct.
And I, as a filmmaker, I'm drawn to a lot of masala Hindi movies जो हमारे 70s में बनते थे, जो मनमोहन देसाई जैसे directors बनाते थे, तो which is action packed, emotion, drama, all of that, everything, a complete package. So, but I always want to tell my stories that have a message. So then, while thinking about that, I got an idea one morning about Mrs. Undercover, which was Mrs. Undercover, and I discussed it with my producer, now producer on this film, Abir Sen Gupta, and he pushed me to writing it and said कि इसको पूरी script लिखो, and I promise I will produce it for you. And in 2019, I finished writing it, and then we contemplated, and a lot happened. And he told me कि तुम्हें किसके पास जाना है ये film लेके, and trust me, while writing only somewhere, I think subconsciously I had Radhika in my mind, and I immediately said that I really want to go to her. So if you can
Wow.
please take me to Radhika.
Yeah.
And he did. And I finally landed up at her house 2 days before the first lockdown. And I narrated the film to her. And within 5 minutes, in the middle of the narration, as cute and amazing as she is, she just said, hey, listen, I'm doing this film. Fir aage kya hota hai? So I was just like floored by how, she was just so open with her feeling that she liked it and she said it. There was no air about it कि immediate reaction था वो, जो एक बहुत artist का एक reaction होता है, वो I think I got from her at that point. Obviously then she read the script and all of that. And then we met a few times on Zoom, and then we went on shooting the film in the middle of the 2 lockdowns basically. So this journey has been really long for me.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing, right? So this is how it all came together, and obviously we shot the film. Shoot के 4 दिन बाद second lockdown हो गया. So we were just like, what is going on? But then we've come a long way, I think, and now it's coming together in a beautiful way. It's coming on Z5 on 14th April. So
Fantastic.
I'm so excited. Can't wait.
So are we. But Radhika, what made you say yes within just 5 minutes of the narration?
No, I think the first narration was about, I think I like the idea, I like the story of the film, and I think it was very unique. We hadn't really seen a spy thriller that is a comedy, and I do relate to the idea because you've seen so many, our mothers, our relatives, a lot of friends, just women around us compromising their lives for, the sake of the family.
Correct.
You just see it over and over again. So I thought it was a very refreshing idea, and I loved it. So I said yes.
Amazing. Was there any training? Because I'm sure we'll be seeing you doing some action in the film.
I wish there was actually,
Okay.
but we were so tight on time with just schedules and travel and everything that we had no rehearsal. We had one day, that too a few hours, not even one day, just evening we had.
Yeah, but
to do-
one day for each. See, we have 6 action sequences. So
Okay.
Radhika had no, because it was like she said, the schedules were so tight. But the most amazing part is without any rehearsal. That's why I say this girl can just do anything. She just came on set, and Ajay, our action director, and I had designed the whole action sequence, and he was also like, "Ki matlab, she's worn a sari and done action. She's worn, you've seen her in the catsuit, all of that.
Correct.
So it's not easy, trust me. She's a one-take okay artist, even in action, without rehearsal. So, I mean, like she said, because the schedules were tight, we couldn't like really have elaborate shoot on the action sequences. But when you work with an one-take okay actor, this is what happens, magic happens. And all the action sequences are so amazing.
Wow, how do you manage to do that?
I don't know. She's exaggerating. She's being way too
No,
kind.
but this is not the first person saying that.
No. No, it's. I mean, I'm sure that if I had more time, I would be better at it. I know my flaws.
Okay.
And I just think that, I mean, there are lots of new things. We don't get as many opportunities to do action sequences, you know what I mean? So I'm very grateful for these. And because we don't get so many opportunities, it's all new.
Yeah.
When we're doing it, it's like, oh wow, this, oh harness, like, oh, I have to roll now in the air. And then you just feel like, if you do it more often, you'll know the technique better.
Yeah.
And if you realize, so, always can be better. But I had a great time. I had a great time shooting for the sequence. This is one when we were shooting in the sari and the bulb went off.
Oh yeah.
Have you used that take?
Of course.
Oh, you've used that.
It's come out brilliant. It's so cool.
Wow, we can't wait to actually watch all the action and of course much more. But Radhika, I feel firstly very grateful that we see actresses getting such incredible parts today, like this one, Mrs. Undercover. Who would have thought, a few years back that this could happen, especially on the web space. How do you feel about, and you are one of the very few actresses I see has just upped the game each time with versatility, and with whatever you have done, with whatever quantity of, work, it's always had some quality in it, and we have always had that faith in you. But how do you feel? Is this like, I think, the best or a very good time for actors today?
It's a very good time for actors today, and not just actors, but just in general. I think a lot of women are getting work in different departments, and there is noise about it. There's more awareness about it, and I hope it keeps spreading. Because there are lots of women in this country who aren't yet, getting their due at all.
True.
At all. So it's changing, and it's incredible, and we need to celebrate the change as well. But there's a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Anushree, how do you feel about this?
Well, there's a lot in conversation, but like Radhika said, there is a long way to go. But grateful for, the very fact that one gets to do what one wants, but it also starts with self-belief. It's not always about everything outside. There is something within that also, speaks to you. And that is where it all begins. So I think let's just begin there, and hopefully one day we'll get closer to that silver lining, which is still a little far.
But, there's this certain credibility attached to your name, Radhika. When we hear you're in a project, in a film, we automatically think, at least I automatically think that it's going to be good and I have to watch it. Audience members feel the same way, and there's always this certain excitement. Does that ever put any extra pressure on your shoulders, or does that come across as reassurance?
I think sometimes it's a mixed bag. I think sometimes you feel like you do. I think it does actually come to me as an inspiration, actually, in the sense that I feel quite reinvigorated when somebody says that, that if you have a certain way of doing things, and we really appreciate that. If they come and tell me that, it makes me feel, as you said, actually reassurance. It's like, okay, fine, then I should probably make those choices and, not get frustrated with whatever other things that, you feel all the time. So I don't think I've never really felt pressured by it. It's always a nice thing. I think when someone says that, you feel like, oh, good, so I'm not doing everything wrong. But yeah.
Great. I can't wait to watch Mrs. Undercover, but thank you so much for this
Thank you.
conversation. All the very best for the
Thank
film.
you so much.
Most welcome.